you to everybody out there who's been supporting the channel. Definitely became a member. Love you guys for your support. And we love movies, and you love movies like me, and you keep coming out and supporting the films. Um, we're having a total difference of opinions when we come to these movies here. The Safdie brothers return with another hit film. But this is one, I think this is Josh Safdie with Timothy Chalamet, or Chalamet, whatever you pronounce his name. And this plays out kind of like how the Safdies do their movies. Very much period piece. There's This is like the 1960s, 70s, around that time, probably even longer than that. It's back when Japan dropping bombs on Hiroshima and all that stuff. This is like during that war period of time, and you would think this was a very much a difference of how they were going to actually, you know, commiserate a film. This was something extraordinary and rich. This was about a narcissistic human being named Marty Mauser. That his friend who was marketing him called him Marty Supreme. And he was a ping pong player, and he was very talented, very talented. Felt that he was the best in the world. He ended up representing the United States, and he had to go play against Japan's best player. So this engagement, this back and forth, this wherewithal to be the best, and we have to acquire to be the best, strive for it. This put everything in a different conundrum. Okay, this put everybody on basically on tilt. It put them on the edge. This is a movie that you're not going to lose anything. Like, you're not going to lose any sleep. I mean, you're not going to go check your phone in this movie. You're going to be kind of locked in because Marty is the biggest narcissist there is. And a narcissist will tell you anything. He's basically a con man. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. And he would use anybody and anything to accomplish what he needs to get accomplished. He never deals in the reality of what if the world he's in, he feels those rules don't apply to him because of the standard that he keeps himself at. So he keeps striving, he keeps pushing, and he go to the level. It's more, it's more, it's more. So as long as he keep pushing himself for more, he's never going to change. Never ever going to change. So it had its ups and downs in the movie. I give it 3.5 stars out of 4. It's very engaging. It reminds me of Good Time more than with Robert Pattinson playing that role. Then basically he's playing the same role as Marty Supreme. It's like there's something wrong with him. Like there's something off. He's driven by something, and he's hates that he's a mediocrity. There is so much that goes on in society and in the world, and he's trying to get to this ping pong championship to play Japan's top player, and he would risk everything to get there. He does not care. So he just knows he needs to get to that tournament. And no matter who we gotta lie to, who we gotta cheat, who we gotta steal, he's gonna get there. His way. So it made for a very interesting climax. But definitely no, it was done. All right. So that's my review of it. I give it no, definitely 3.5 stars out of 4. Really enjoyed the movie. The ending is the way I took away the half star. I didn't appreciate the ending because I'm like, did I miss something? Or maybe it's a point in there I'm missing that brought this full circle. I just don't see the character getting to the point that the character got to just because of one thing. I never saw that coming. Salute, salute, salute. What's going on, brother? So I had never saw that point taking place. Like I never saw that part of the movie was going to actually be a problem. Like I could not believe the range and the direction in which people were willing to stretch themselves to. There's tons of funny parts in the movie. It's like funny, it's sick at some points. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from a veteran's eye or a yeah, they got what's her name, Gwyneth Paltrow in the movie, playing pretty much where she what she would be right now. She was a actress who was at the end of her rope, a older woman, and she was in her best years were behind her, and this is like where she was at now. She's married to a rich corporation CEO guy, played by Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. And I'm like, what is he doing in this movie? He's basically playing himself in the movie. It's a very good movie. Very good movie. But what I like about the Safries and how they make the characters, it's a lot of their characters are almost the same. They seem to be characters who are not likable, but they do good deeds from time to time. But they have a narcissistic, you know, way about themselves. Robert Patterson, Good Time, Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler, same thing, right? Narcissistic, compulsive liar, Jewish guy from New York, right? Here it is, Jewish kid, New York, once again, narcissistic character, lied, con man, conning everybody, right? This, but they're driven by something. So it becomes that same thing over and over and over again. Oh yeah. So yeah, so just skip the cycles. All right, this is just it. It was more than him trying to hustle to just to get to a tournament. I don't. I like people to watch the movie to get their own interpretations of it, but he's a narcissistic human being. His personality, the things he said, he was very unlikable. He says things that made people very uncomfortable because of his attitude, but he didn't care. He felt the rules didn't apply to him. He's a real star. And as you could see, that was part of his behavior. So it was more than that. It was leading all the way up to it. So the end, how his character gets there so fast and get to this point in the movie, that's where I was like, I don't know about this. Right. I wouldn't have went in that direction, is what I'm saying. I felt there were other things there that they didn't utilize. You're right. A lot of people don't talk about Begonia anymore. They're out of that characters. I mean, out of that creators' films. They don't even look at that film. But that Jesse Plemons' performance in that movie was incredible. One battle after another is outstanding. Um, A Long Walk is up there with best movies of the year. A lot of people got Sinners up there as the top movie of the year. Sinners was a good movie. People like Weapons a lot for the horror movie, but yes, not best movies. Yeah, well, when you get yourself stuck in situation, Final Destination, no, Final Destination is not that. The Return of Daniel Day Lewis, that film, it was interesting, but it was nothing about it that says it was the best film of the year. Yeah, it was a lot of psychological thrillers. Hmm. Well, you're never going to get to a point to where people are satisfied. People are never going to be satisfied. People put The Long Walk in as a horror movie. I watched the whole movie and did not know that was Luke Skywalker. It was after I saw the movie that I was like, that was Mark Hamill? Yeah, there's tons of the most like in like I would say the best horror films are the ones you're never gonna really see. I don't think The Long Walk is a horror movie. There's only so much you could actually do. Mm-mm. The most disappointing movie that's a remake of a Japanese movie, Highest to the Lowest. The thing about it is it takes from the storyline and the plot of that movie. It takes from the Japanese story, but it loses its tension. See, in the Spike Lee version, the guy who he makes the decision on is he going to pay for the ransom when it's the other guy. This is a guy he was like best friend, godfather to his kid in the Spike Lee version, but in the original version, the guy was like a perfect stranger to him. He barely knew the guy. So now it became a more of a moral compass of him paying the money. Him, he just looks like in this movie, they make Denzel just look like an asshole. This guy lives with you and you're not paying the money. That's where things get complicated. They start to go off the rails. A movie I didn't review. Hmm, that would probably be good. That I didn't review. The Ugly Stepsister. The Ugly Stepsister is probably the craziest thing you've ever seen in life. It's very disturbing. I don't think I've done a review for it. That's the thing. Yeah, the Ugly Stepsister is oh my god. Yeah. So anyway, 3 stars out of 4, 3.5 stars out of 4. So let's go from there. And from that point, we are done.